Howdy, friends. Today we've got a hard-hitting, ultra-controversial topic to talk about, okay? This is not for the lighthearted. These are some real hard-hitting questions that I get asked damn near every single day that I'm actually playing Tarkov. And some of these questions include, do you even like this game anymore? Are you still having fun with this wipe? And then other statements made by people in chat is, oh, I'm so bored of EFT. What can I do to, you know, to revitalize my interest in this game? Okay, and we're gonna go over a couple of things. There's a lot of chat about inertia. There's a lot of talk about like the current meta. There's a lot of talk about stuff that we'd like to see changed, like things we'd like to see added. And god damn it, where's Streets of Tarkov? Where's the other half of Lighthouse? Where's the traders in Raid and all this other crap? Okay, we're gonna get to all this. Okay, but let me first and foremost answer the main question that I keep getting asked all the time. Do you still like EFT? Yes, I do. Do I some days stream other games instead of Tarkov? Yes, I do. Now, why is that? Because I'm a human being and I can't do the same thing every single day without getting bored or getting burnt out. This is why recently I have been playing a lot of Elden Ring, one of my brand new favorite games of all time, and I've been loving my my time streaming it. And do I think Tarkov is in a bad place right now, which is what a lot of people seem to say? I think Tarkov's in a good spot. I think what everybody's just craving is content, you know, because us, you know, as gamers, we tend to, you know, piss through content pretty quickly, right? You know, am I right? We go in, we deep dive, we make videos, we watch videos, we watch the Reddit, the comments, the information from the community, and we find out every last little thing about, let's say, Lighthouse. Within the first, 5 days of Lighthouse's release, everybody had, this is how you farm rogues without getting shot. This is how you make 10 million rubles a second playing Lighthouse. This strategy for making money is OP on Lighthouse. Go farm these items in these spots before people know about it and you'll make a load of money. And then you have people going in, following the guide step by step by step by step and doing the same thing over and over and over again, and then wondering why they've gotten bored of playing the map rather than just going in and having, you know, a good time rather than sticking to what everybody else is saying. So I get that. You know, we get through content pretty quickly, but to make quality content, it takes time. And right now, with the whole Russia-Ukraine thing going on, I don't know if that's affecting development, if it's slowing it down or what's going on with it, but we've kind of gotten, you know, not much talk from BSG, which, considering the current circumstances, fair enough. So hopefully soon we'll start getting podcasts with Nikita again, interviews with Nikita again, and we can get some more information about what the guys have been doing and how everybody at the team at BSG is doing. But before then, I would like to have a quick little chat about inertia, because as I said, I get asked about this all the time. What do I think about it? I currently think that inertia is quite imbalanced. Okay, now let me explain. Inertia, for those of you that don't know who haven't been playing Tarkov, inertia is when your PMC is walking along and you stop. You don't really stop, you kind of go a little bit more, let's say, right? That's just the very basic idea of inertia. It's like doing a full sprint and then trying to stop on a dime, okay? And then it's trying to do a full sprint and then stopping on a dime with a backpack with 30 kilos of gear in it. Now, you can imagine which one is going to end up landing you on your face. And that is essentially what's been added to Tarkov. It's to kind of slow down the movement just a little bit, but I have a couple of pretty serious problems with it, okay? Problem number one being, it is absolutely aggressive as hell in the early levels. Okay, so when you're a low-level PMC, you know, you've just started, you've got a couple of strength levels, couple of endurance levels, your inertia is unbelievably aggressive. You can feel it super hard. I actually got kind of motion sick the first few days of the wipe because I was getting used to my PMC moving when I had already let go of the button. So my brain was programmed to, I would just stop here, but I would keep going, and that is I think that's what caused the motion sickness. A lot of people actually got it for a while until they got used to it, which was kind of weird. I'd never really experienced that outside of playing VR. VR gives you crazy motion sickness until you get used to it if you're unlucky with it. Some people can just play VR and have absolutely no issues at all. Moving on from that, so you've got inertia at the low levels, right, which is very, very, very aggressive. And then as you level up your strength, as you level up your endurance, it starts to not really feel as aggressive anymore. So last month I hit max strength, max endurance, mostly strength is what affects it. And with the increase in movement speed from strength, it just doesn't really feel like inertia's doing anything anymore to me. I've had many instances where people have just sprinted around a corner at me and then just immediately hosed me down, just like the old days. So it's kind of strange where on the low end of things, inertia is really aggressive. And then on the very higher end of things, all of the end game players are basically not affected by it. So I think that we need to find a middle ground here, somewhere in the middle, to where it's a balanced, like, increase in inertia as you're leveling up. So you're always going to kind of have it as you're going along. And there's no way to like completely mitigate it, because the way you completely mitigate inertia is you basically max your strength out, which does take quite a while of grinding. Does cost a little bit of money if you want to do it with the air filters in the hideout. But I think inertia definitely, maybe this, like, you know, first iteration, it's fine. You know, it makes sense. And they're probably testing it right now. And next wipe, I'm assuming we're going to get a way more balanced overall inertia system. But for right now, it is kind of just like, once you hit the end game, it's kind of like last wipe's combat all over again. And you don't really notice it that much. And what a lot of people are doing now is they're holding a corner and they're jiggle peeking like this, but not like, you know, AD strafing. Like they're like lean peeking, and they're using the Alt E, so like the sidestep, to just like quickly peek corners and do that instead. So this is where the combat's kind of evolved from. It's gone from AD strafing to like Alt E, Alt D, or well, not Alt D, but you guys know what I mean. We're using like the other movement mechanics in the game to kind of counteract how we've been forced to change our playstyle with inertia. And it actually leads to a slightly more campy kind of gameplay style, which I'm not really a big fan of, but I could get used to it if everybody was kind of on the same page with it, because, as I said, there's a massive variance in everybody's soft skills. Therefore, everybody's experiencing a completely different game, which is very similar to perception. I think perception needs to be removed from the game. I think the only thing in EFT that should affect what you can hear are your contacts. And I think perception needs to be drastically changed. And honestly, if I was at BSG, I would vote to just remove it from the game right now. That way everybody hears the exact same thing, and it's only your contacts that affect it. So your choice in contacts is what affects your ability to hear. Those are like my major complaints with perception and my major complaints with inertia. But we are currently, you know, maybe halfway through the wipe. We're kind of getting to that point where a lot of people are hitting endgame and a lot of people are just kind of getting bored. I have one piece of advice to everybody who keeps going into streamers and asking them, or posting questions on Twitter, or, you know, asking questions on Reddit, like about what should I do now? I'm really bored of Tarkov. I'm burnt out of Tarkov. Lads, take a break from the game, okay? Trust me. Like, a lot of people treat Tarkov like a job. Like, you have to keep playing it. You can't stop. You have to log in every day. You got to collect your insurance. You got to do your hideout. You got to do everything. Blah, 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 blah. Dude, just step away from the game for a while. If you're not enjoying it right now, play something else. There's a bunch of awesome games out right now that a lot of people are having a really fun time playing. And, like, just don't feel like you're kind of prisonered to Tarkov. You know, you can play other things. And then, you know, when updates come out, you come back, and after having, you know, taken a little break from Tarkov, you're going to come back with a fresh new perspective, and you're going to be ready to actually play and enjoy the game again. Don't force yourself to play it all the time because you feel compelled to, you know, which is very strange. People come in, they're like, hey, what should I do? I'm really bored of EFT. I don't really want to play it anymore. Can you tell me to do something that will reignite my passion for it? Like, there's nothing I could really tell you. Oh, go for Kappa. Oh, max out your hideout. Oh, go do all your quests. You know, like, go earn X amount of money. If you're not really having fun with the game right now, I would definitely suggest just, like, take a break for a while. Take a break for a week. Take a break for 2 weeks, and then come back, and, you know, you might surprise yourself. I took a break from EFT for a week when Elden Ring came out, and when I finally did come back to it, I actually had a lot of fun with it, because I hadn't played it in such a long time. It took me, like, a while to, like, readjust to it. But that's just my quick word of advice to those people. That's for, like, you know, people who've been playing for years. But anyway, moving on to the next point. The current meta in EFT, pretty dry. At the end game, all everybody's using is mutants and BP rounds. That is pretty much it. And it's definitely getting a little bit stale, running into the exact same loadout people are using every raid. Now, I don't know if we're going to see a nerf to BP or we're going to see a nerf to 7.62 weapons in general. But there isn't really any reason to use any other gun in the game other than a mutant once you hit endgame. The only problem being that you have to collect BP ammo, which can be very, very easily collected if you go and kill raiders on reserve, or if you go and craft it and you buy it, you know, on reset, and you do that every day and you just don't use BP for a while, you're going to have an absolute mountain of ammo to run BP as often as you'd like. That is kind of my main issue right now, because in all my raids, there's always at least somebody with a mutant, and then I'm like, oh great, this is going to be a nice sweaty fight where I'm probably going to get 2 tapped in my chest, and then that's the end of it. That's the only thing I don't really like. I'm not really seeing a lot of variants and weapons. Yes, we do have the occasional M4. Sometimes we have the occasional DMR. I've been seeing a couple of SA-58s, but I've been seeing a lot of SMGs as well, which is kind of cool. I like seeing SMGs because usually after the first 2 weeks of the wipe, I mean, people are already onto ARs and people have already moved away from SMGs at that point. And then the meta, as far as armor is concerned, I've been seeing a lot less Altons, Reese Ts this wipe. And I've basically just been seeing everybody using like LZSHs, fast MTs with visors, or Sear Precisions or Cry Precisions. What's it called? Is it Sire Precision? You know, the airframe helmets with the visors? I've been seeing a lot of people running those, but predominantly I've just been seeing people using ULOCs. And then all of the endgame players are either using Slicks, Hex Grids, or AACPC rigs, or a lot of people are still using TV10s. You see the odd TAC Tech here and there. And then a lot of people are just running MMAC rigs, which is fine. Like, MMAC rigs are good. They're basically the new rat rig. That one and the bigger one, the Strandhog, I think. Those are like the two most common armored rigs that I'm seeing people running at the moment. So as far as the gear variance this wipe is concerned and the current meta right now, we're not seeing a whole heap of very high tier visors because Alton visors and Reese T visors are quite expensive and they're a bit of a pain in the ass to get onto, or get a hold of rather. It's I guess it's kind of nice not seeing, you know, the super end game helmets all the time, because before, at this point last wipe, you'd see everybody running around in Altons and Reese Ts. It was all everybody was using. So there's a little bit of gear variance. It's not too bad, but it's your standard, you know, midway through the wipe kind of Tarkov slump as far as, you know, gear is concerned. So I guess to answer everybody's question, what do I think about the current state of EFT? I think it's fine. I think it's okay. And I think that next wipe we're going to get a lot more balance and we're going to see a lot more variance. And I'm hoping to see a massive rebalance in the soft skill system come next wipe. And I also want to see Inertia have a big look at it and see how exactly we're going to balance it and how we're going to make it fair, whether you're level 1 or whether you're level 70. Because there is such a massive discrepancy between min soft skills and max soft skills that the person who just started playing Tarkov and then the endgame person who has max strength and max endurance is basically playing a completely different game. Like, it is insane. It's like Call of Duty compared to super slow and methodical tactical kind of gameplay, I guess you could say. So that is what I want to see balanced. But I also think EFT's in a good spot right now. That last audio update we had where we can now hear people finally falling off balconies and falling from a height, that is so big for Shoreline. It's so big for dorms and customs. It's big for a lot of maps. And I'm so glad that they finally fixed it. One of my other grievances, can we please, for the love of God, get a lighting rework on Interchange? Please. From everybody who loved that map before to the people who can't stomach it now because the lighting is so bad. Can we please, 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 please get a lighting rework on Interchange? I would really, really appreciate it. A lighting rework on Interchange would be absolutely amazing. So, lads, I guess that's kind of the end of the video. Sorry, this was kind of ranty, but I basically made this because I want to make a command in my chat called, you know, my opinion of EFT right now, because I'm blue in the face from answering the same questions every day on my stream. So I'll be able to direct them to this video. I'll be like, you want to hear my thoughts and opinions on the current state of EFT? Go watch this. So, guys, hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment down below. Let me know what your ups and downs of this wipe are, what you want to see changed, what you want to, you know, see added. You know, stuff that you don't like, stuff that you do like. Try and not keep it all negative, though. Try and, you know, keep some positivity in there. I'd appreciate it. And guys, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Peace out, my dudes.